Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. I want to continue that drum set every time.
I'm always jamming backstage.
Oh, I'm always jamming, of course, man.
Let's talk about this. Can we talk about this sweater I got here?
We have to talk about your entire look right now, by the way.
Right now. This
is like, where's your pipe? You need a pipe.
Listen, it's snowing here in Miami. It's 62 degrees. So I needed to have my cozy sweater. I only get to wear it once a year. I brought it out for you all today.
And it's so perfect because I have a Christmas tree behind me. So I actually have snow outside. I shouldn't even be wearing a tank top, but when I go outside, I'll be wearing
switching spots based on wardrobe.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not a fake background, right? This is a real spot that you're in. This is not AI generated.
We are like other people. We don't do fake backgrounds.
I'm
kidding. Oh my God. I don't even know. By the way, that was not directed at anybody.
Listen, all listeners hate mail directed at Sarah, not me.
Oh man, I'm sorry. It's early. It's 6:30 a.m. for me.
Where are you today?
So I am at the Ritz-Carlton Lake Tahoe and staying in one of their specialty suites, and they have a whole Christmas tree set up. I've been doing some TV segments for our friends over at Marriott, and it's awesome. It's so cool. And the whole view, maybe over the course of the show, the sun will come up a little bit and you can see some of the lights behind me. So it'll be cool.
Very cool. I love the setup. Good job, Ritz-Carlton, making people feel nice and get the holiday spirit going in those suites.
Cozy.
I like this idea.
Have you ever been to Lake Tahoe, by the way?
I have been to Lake Tahoe. It was the last time I have been skiing. I was 19 years old and almost flew off the mountain. And so I stopped skiing after that.
So you decided that, you're going to stick with South Florida.
I'll do water skiing, paddle boarding, I'll do some other bravecations that we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I love that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I love that you just came with your whole cozy vibes. Like you knew.
I didn't even realize how cozy this thing looks on camera. It's the first time I've worn it on camera. So,
but we were talking about this last week. We tend to be like matching without really trying sometimes. Yeah. So maybe not color coordinated, but we got a cozy vibe.
Such a vibes ready for you all watching and listening.
So speaking of action. We obviously have started the show a little bit early today. So for those of you that are joining us, let us know where you are joining us from. I mean, you can see Steve is joining us from good old freezing Miami.
Snowing outside. I need to be ready.
Yeah, dude, that's the wrong type of snow. Isn't Art Basel happening?
Art Basel is live here in Miami. The streets are packed. It's one of my favorite times of year because it really is so much action, so many parties, so many events. So if you have the chance, come on down to Art Basel. They got Art Miami and Context Art and all these different art shows everywhere. But everyone puts on their best foot forward. So what's cool is that when you walk South Beach or in Brickell too, all the hotels, they try to outdo themselves now, getting local art and artists in the hotels. So even if you're not going to the shows, you can walk through and see world-class art just in the hotel.
That's cool. That's super cool. I love that they're doing that. I mean, it's great. I mean, they need to get into it anyway.
Yeah. And if people travel, like rates are very high. Like this is the time of year, like even all our vacation rentals are sold out and we're getting double the rates we would normally get. So just a great generator. When you get a world-class event that comes, I think we're in mid 25 years of doing this. Like it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Do we? Coming. So today's Wednesday. Like what day is it? Today is Wednesday. So when does it officially start? Did it start?
It starts yesterday for the VIPs, so like the real buyers. So the way this works, like you have the multi-millionaires and billionaires that come and buy this priceless artwork.
Sure.
And then it opens up to the regular folk like us, where we can come in and see the beautiful art and see that, this banana taped to the wall costs $1 million. Let me
time out. Yes. Time out. Regular people like us.
Listen.
Dude, we do VIP.
Listen, I know you're a millionaire, but you're not at the multi-millionaire level yet. So when you get to the multiples and you can buy the famous banana taped to the wall.
Oh my gosh. But yeah.
A lot of cool artwork, but I love it. So basically that's what it is. And then there's all these parties that go off the shows and on a lot of celebrities here. So a lot of fun things going on.
The place to be. Okay, well maybe we work out something like next year I come.
Live from the show. Here we are.
Live. All right. So you want to go ahead and get started with some of today's
Yeah, I think
topics?
it's perfect. You happen to be staying at a Marriott brand, so
I
why don't we
do.
jump into what we got going on?
So I love this. So basically, Marriott Bonvoy, they did a ticket to travel report. And this happened just right before Thanksgiving, where they really kind of were discovering that there's a redefining of travelers' priorities for 2025. So interestingly enough, like first of all, their research found that 42% of consumers are planning to increase their holiday travels in 2025 compared to 2024. So going into next year. And then they noticed some interesting trends. I know you mentioned one just before.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk about some of these?
I like them. So the first is heritage travel. So an increasing number of travelers are seeking destinations connected to their family roots, aiming
Yeah,
for deeper cultural connections. I like that one. The next
very
one is
cool.
bravecations,
Oh my
right?
God.
So adventurous trips that
I
challenge
want to
personal
know.
boundaries are gaining popularity.
I want to know who came up with that title,
I
that
like that
like
one.
phrase.
It's a
What
very good
PR
one.
company?
I'm going
It
to use it
is
for my next speech that we give. I need another little tag in there. That'll be a good one. And then
Bravecations.
the value for money experiences, which we've talked about a lot the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, particular among Gen Z and millennials. They're focused on cost effective yet enriching travel experiences are like the
Hmm.
three emerging trends. What about some of the other influences you see there?
Ooh, your favorite. We got to talk about tech.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so tech influence, obviously, AI tools are being utilized for personalized travel planning. I know that you've played around with it. I've played around with it because recently I've definitely had a couple of my private clients that have asked me about destinations that I'm not as familiar with, and I use it as a great starting point just to be
Yep.
like, okay. And then obviously you always have to double check the work. But then social media obviously still remaining a top inspiration source for travelers. Yes, we know this.
Travel influencer.
I mean, I just did my best Gen Z, like, I'm not Gen Z. Neither of us are.
Or
And then
millennial.
also we've talked about sustainability focus as well. So that's certainly being
I
a
feel like
big
that's
thing.
always
And
in there. I feel like people just throw that in there every year. It seems
well,
like to be something since like 2010 that we've been talking about green, but I do like the technology part. Again, I
yes.
just planned a trip for New Year's time where I'm going,
Ooh,
and it's kind of a mix of the heritage travel. Like we've been taking, like last year we went to Washington D.C. This year we're
yeah,
going
that's
to
right.
Boston, right? And so I think we're going to like some of the great American cities and learning about it, so that the kids can be enriched about it and see these things. So for me, I like that. But also, I use AI to plan most of it. Like, what area should I be in? Which are the top hotels
Hmm.
that are family friendly? And we book based off of those things.
Yeah. Well, I've got some clients that are going to be in Nantucket, so not too far away for where you'll be in Boston. And I definitely was using a bit of that and, other tools as well. But AI, man, so freaking helpful.
I guess
Like,
better every day. Every day I use it, it's
seriously.
better and better.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that Marriott came out with this. I mean, it's obviously some things that we probably know, but it's also cool when they have come up with a name for it. The
Bravecations,
bravecations.
I like some. I feel like I need some adventurous trips coming up. I
Oh,
like
I'm
that.
all
Like,
for the adventurous. I feel like I've had a couple of those this year. I
yeah,
had Costa Rica. I was out there in the dirt, in the
yeah. I
mud.
feel like Asia, the one you went in Southeast Asia for sure.
That was definitely, I mean, but it's great. It's character building.
Yeah, see, I used to do a lot more. Now I'm gonna keep going. Like I was diving in caves and doing cool things. Like I'm gonna get back to
Ooh.
that now. So,
Well,
like I get connected to nature. I go on my paddleboard. I'm out in the middle of the ocean. And I see animals floating around me and sharks and stingrays. Like I love doing that. So
okay.
for
You get
me,
excited about sharks?
well, they're not gonna bite me. I hope, right? Like there's the right ones. I'm not dealing with a bull shark or great white out there. But the nurse sharks are okay swimming around.
Totally classic. So Southern South Florida like response. You're like, yeah, they're sharks. I'd be like,
Yeah,
oh no,
stingrays,
oh no,
manatees. We saw a family of manatees floating around the other day.
oh
So
my gosh,
always fun things going around.
oh my. I'm cool if they hang out over there.
You're the one that says, "See, we touch me."
Oh,
Get
yeah.
to a vacation and the other
Actually,
people.
yeah, I am that one.
Yeah,
Kidding.
but I like this. I like this report, and I think we'll share. It's on Skift that they shared it
Yeah,
too. But Marriott always doing a good job, and I like the trends this year: heritage
yeah.
travel, vacations, and value for money. So
Always a good one. So this next topic is pretty interesting. The big question, will hotel direct bookings overtake OTAs? And the Skift research, and we've kind of talked a little bit about this, but Skift research is forecasting that by 2030, By the way, 2030 is not that far away, guys.
5 years. That's
Remember when that
bananas.
seemed like the future? I mean, it's technically the future, but
It's way in the future, man.
the
Back to the future.
future, dude. But they basically Skift is saying that by direct digital channels could surpass online travel agencies, so OTAs, as the leading hotel booking method, which honestly makes sense. I mean, we've been talking about this forever. I mean, I know I always like to encourage, direct bookings, or working with a travel advisor to help with those bookings. I'm speaking with a couple of home rental companies, TBD on that, about how they can increase how they are working with travel advisors as well, to
You
make
gotta let
that.
me know. We gotta get you into the Tangy crew. You gotta let us know how we can book some people.
I mean, I'm just saying. So yeah, so it is. I mean, people are getting savvy to, and they also realize that they really want to make sure that they're utilizing their loyalty and rewards points, and like at least racking up credit for every stay that they do. So it's not a big surprise to me, but there were a couple of insights that they had from it.
Yeah, but one thing I do want to add, that I'm seeing,
Yeah.
we talk from using social media. A
Yeah.
lot of the hotels and companies that are doing great on social media, I think, will do much better because they see it. They're like, oh, wow, this hotel is doing this. They click on the link in the bio and they go straight to that website, and then they're
Mhm.
booking directly. So I think that will be a big driver. If you can really make your social media feel less like, ads and more like, hey, this is the vibe at the hotel, like this Christmas tree that's behind you made me all of a sudden be like, man, I want to go there. Right.
Yeah.
And start being able to see that and book that through the channel and book directly on that Ritz-Carlton website.
Mhm.
But they're seeing direct digital bookings are projected to generate over 400 billion in global hotel compared to 333 billion from OTAs. So now it's starting to grow and grow and grow. Major hotel brands have enhanced tools to drive direct bookings, aiming
Yeah,
to reduce reliance on the third-party platforms because they do charge a ton of money to get
they
that
do.
booked through OTAs. And the hoteliers are really pushing to get to a 50-50 split between direct and third-party bookings by 2030. And a lot of hotels right now are like 80-20 on
Mhm.
OTAs, and we don't really want to see that. So getting the 50-50 is great because it allows you more flexibility too, especially when they book directly with you. You have more flexibility with helping those guests and doing different things for them and having that flexibility. I remember when I would have friends say, hey, can I stay at your hotel? I was like, book directly, because if you book through Expedia or one of these booking or other things, I have less flexibility in helping you
Oh,
within
totally.
the hotel. And so I could give you better upgrades and different things that I could do once you were in the hotel. So I'm a big believer in it. The one that always kind of gets me, though, is American Express. Like the American Express travel, when you're part of that hotel collection, I get so many goodies doing it. It's like, it's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get it. I get it. I always try to, at least like if I'm going to be utilizing points, I'll transfer my Amex points. They actually did this for I'll be in Vegas at the beginning of the year, and I transferred my Amex points to Marriott, oddly enough, so that I had enough points, and they were actually doing like a special bonus that you get like 35% more, blah blah
Ooh,
blah.
nice.
I know. But I ended up doing that, and then I booked my flight directly through Marriott. So I still use points, but I did it that way
That way.
because I even did a price comparison as far as like if I did my points on Amex or looking at it if I was doing it through Marriott, and it still just made more sense for me to book through Marriott. So
Yeah, I
there
got to
wasn't.
research more. Like I got early check-in, guaranteed late checkout.
Yeah.
Right? You get the $100, whatever, where the restaurants or spa
All the
or
credits.
whatever,
Yeah.
all the credits. So that's my only one. So hoteliers, don't be mad. Like sometimes I will
Yeah.
have to do that, but a lot of times I'm booking directly.
For sure. And by the way, quick hello to Radka. Thank you for saying hi. We saw your little note. Love it that you
Hi,
joined
Rod.
us.
Good to see you here.
Hello. And then the final thing with this is that despite this shift, they did say that OTAs are still expected to remain a significant distribution channel. And that is important to mention because obviously, depending on the property, let's say more independent or boutique properties, it is an important way for them to get out there and to be seen by travelers that maybe they won't be able to rely on social media solely. So it's not to say that there's no use for OTAs. There absolutely is, depending on the property. But it's just, It's
I just think like once you get that guest in your hotel, whether you're boutique or an inn or a big hotel, like you need to do your best to transfer them into a loyal customer of yours.
100%.
Because if they're booking
Totally.
through OTAs, they're not your customer. They're the OTA's customer, and they will
Yeah,
continue booking on the OTA with whatever best rate they find. So
totally.
your job is to make them a super fan of wherever they're staying.
That is right. Super fan. We love super fans. Okay, let's talk about what's been going on with travel. So
Mm-hmm.
I was out there in the travel world
Yeah,
during
you're
all
on
of this.
planes,
I was on planes,
trains,
trains,
automobiles.
no trains, but planes, automobiles, and things like that. So yeah, TSA actually recorded the busiest day ever. It's so funny. We just keep breaking records with over 3 million travelers, and that was on December 1st. What day was that? That was Sunday, right?
Sunday. Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh. So I was one of those people contributing to. I was the 3 millionth traveler that day.
Did you win a prize when you walked through?
I wish. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got my prize was I changed my flight last minute and I got a middle seat.
Yeah.
Yay, me.
But you were traveling across the country. What was the vibe like? Was it packed? Was it organized? Did it seem like people were
Um,
screaming and yelling? What would you see
you
when you're out
know who actually I love that you asked this question. The people working for the airlines were super cranky. So it wasn't necessarily the travelers, but and it was like the gate agents. So I traveled from Allentown and then went through Atlanta. And so the gate agents before getting on were just like barking orders. And it's like, can we just like, I mean, I get it, but it was like they came to work. This is what it was the classic case of they came to work on the defensive. And it's like, yo, nobody's like coming at you with that attitude yet. Like,
there?
why are you throwing that at us? And I get it. They probably worked over the holidays. They probably dealt with some things and they were just like, oh, trying to get through it. But it's rough when they just set the tone that way.
Yeah, it's hard. I know there was a big storm up in the Northeast that set off a lot of different things over the weekend.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
so
totally.
I don't know. It's hard to work in holidays anywhere, whether you're in a hotel or airport or
Oh my
wherever
gosh.
it's at, right? Because you just see everyone is over, I say, hyper focused on getting to where they need to get to and want to have the
For
great
sure.
memories and great things. So sometimes it can be over the top and things explode. But to do 3 million people in a day, that's pretty amazing across
It's a
all the
lot.
airlines.
And then, as somebody that travels regularly, by the way, I will be hitting 100 flights this year. Okay.
That's
So that is
crazy.
a lot of flights. So somebody that travels regularly, and it's funny because sometimes people look at me and like they might not expect I travel a lot because who knows? They're like, oh, she
Yeah,
doesn't
it's a
look
lot
like the
like
typical business traveler, whatever that is. Um, I'll just sit back and I'll watch. And I get it because it's like I was trying to get into like a Delta Sky Club and it was super super booked and I was like whatever, I'm going to wait my turn and go in, and I have higher status than others, so I would have priority. And there are other people that are like, well, did you use the black card and this, and they're just like talking to each other, and I'm thinking like, do these people don't travel that much, but it is an important travel. It's an important trip for them, and so they want all those perks, but they're also like not necessarily putting in the time. But then they do. Maybe they spend a lot of money, and so who knows? So it's such an interesting thing to see, and I feel bad, but it's like everybody feels like they deserve the VIP treatment, and it's like even if you're a regular traveler or you spend a lot of money with a co-branded credit card, at the end of the day, like volume is volume, and there's only so many people that a space can hold, whether it's on a
Yep.
plane or in a lounge.
I hear you. And so I think I'm more like the others that travel 6 times a year, 7 times a year, right? Not 100, which is impressive, by the way. So congrats
Well,
to you. It's
um,
pretty impressive because you actually get to see what's going on.
totally.
But I get it. Like I spend all this money on purpose on this credit card, so I have access to this. And when I can't get in there, I'm like, is that credit card worth paying $700 a year to have, right? And plus, I got to spend a certain amount. So I get where people
Totally.
are at that. But also, it's impressive. Where I say like major airlines, I say American Airlines and Delta handled 8.3 million customers from November
Mhm.
21st to December 3rd.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing, just to have that many people come through your planes and get them to where they need to get to safely is fantastic. So great job to all of you out there, because I know you handle so many different characters. You have to deal with Sarah on hundreds of flights, right? So
Most of the
good job,
time,
honestly, it's amazing to see what they do.
I'll get a comment like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I'm sitting next to you as opposed to a big dude." I
Like in a
get that
puffer
comment
sweater.
so often. No, no, Steve, not like you.
Well, I think we got Brian
Oh, yeah.
Meredith here. Interesting take. Do you feel like earned status is more valuable than purchase status? It's a good question, but I'm
It's a
purchasing the ticket and I'm making sure that I'm using that card all the time. So I feel like it's important. Like I want to have that loyalty. Like I'm being loyal to this one credit card so I can get into this place. But I hear what you're saying. It's an interesting take.
I mean, I think because it's all, oh gosh, I mean, like all the metrics that they have going on, like behind the scenes. So it's fascinating because I have pretty high status from all the flights that I've taken and spend
Yeah.
directly with Delta. And so sometimes I'm at the top of the upgrade list, and then sometimes I'm like 20th on the upgrade list. And I'm like, what
Who is
are
beating
all
you? Yeah. Who's beating you?
many people. I mean, I've only spent like $30,000 with Delta this year versus somebody who probably, I mean, maybe they're flying first class all the time and they've spent 50,000, or people that spend over 75,000. So, I mean, I get it, but it's all these different metrics that like put you up a little bit higher, or this, or I may have higher status, but if I booked with points, they're going to put the person who purchased their ticket a little bit ahead of me. So it's hard to say earned status versus purchase. I mean, I think it just depends.
It's a tough one. But in hotels, it was how much money you spent in this hotel. Like we knew, like this client booked the presidential suite multiple times a year and spent $300,000 just on a room. We're going to take care of that person over the person that's booked a similar room, but much, much, much less.
Yeah. It's so interesting to me. Because sometimes I have clients that stay in very nice hotel rooms, suites that are like 5,000, 8,000, 12,000 a night.
Yep.
And they're staying for multiple nights. And sometimes it is so shocking to me when some properties are just like, just another guest. I'm like, how is that the case? How is that?
Then they have somebody spending 5 times that amount that night too.
Of course. I mean, I've definitely looked at rooms that were $48,000 a night, 100%. But it's all relative. It's so crazy. But it's that reminder that you should make sure that you treat everybody like they're special.
Yeah, like when you're at the Peninsula, I'm sure if I was working there, we'd be like, hey, these are the VIP guests coming. Here's who's in the presidential suite. He's in the vice presidential suite. Let's make sure they have an extra good stay. What amenities can we put in that room? Right. So
Will chimed in, by the way, in the back. So I love what he said. Earned is better than paid because earned is true loyalty. Paid is a cut of that line of type of loyalty, which I mean, I think that's a very well said. Will, very well said. So thank you for sharing that. I know it's a good opinion. So yeah, definitely interesting stuff. Oh gosh, we have a couple more topics. Let's kind of get through those. Oh my gosh. We'll have to circle back to you in a minute, Brian. Well, should we quickly read?
Yeah, let's see what Brian has to say here. Yeah. So Brian says, to better define, for instance, I have lifetime Marriott status because I was loyal for years and years. I needed a backup, so I just got a Hilton credit card with Instant Diamond. Did I earn that Hilton status? Maybe. I certainly earned the Marriott status. Yeah, I hear you. It's an interesting take, right? I think it just comes down to what you prefer. I think as a hotel, you're going to look at, I would look at who earned it, who's here the most, and who's been a loyal customer the longest.
Yeah.
And spent the money.
Spent the money, the time, knowing the brand inside and out, for sure. I love that, Brian. That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Brian. The first time we've seen you on here.
Thanks, I know. That's super cool. Okay, let's talk about this true yacht experience on the SeaDream I in Italy. So the SeaDream I is a small cruise ship that's going to be offering a personalized yachting adventure along the Italian coastline. What were you seeing about this, which is kind of an interesting...
I like that there's so many ships now like this. I have to see what the pricing is, but I like that because I'm seeing them pop up all over here, especially in Miami through the ports. So you have cruises and Emerald cruises, and now you got Four Seasons yachts and Ritz-Carlton yachts. And so this True Yacht seems to be kind of following in those footsteps with, luxurious water sports and spa services and Balinese beds for stargazing out on the deck and dining aboard with all the fresh food and Italian cuisine. But I think what's fun about this is like you get to live that yacht life, having a staff there for you, having a more boutique experience versus the large cruise ships that I like going on, like the giant icon of the seas with 5,000 other people. You're here with a handful of, 30, 40, 50 people and get to have your own experience. So we've seen
yeah.
it.
No, it's cool. So interesting. I was just pulling up a couple of different stats from here because it reminds me a lot of my experience that I did with Uncruise in Alaska. And Uncruise, we had 53 passengers. And this particular ship, I think max capacity is 112 passengers. And by the way, when I went to Antarctica, and that was on Atlas Ocean Voyages, that was max capacity of 199. It was COVID. We were running half capacity. So we were running at about 100 people on the ship. Very cool experience. So just to kind of give you an idea, it's interesting because when you're on it, you still feel like you're getting the full cruise experience, but it's far more intimate than, say, obviously one that has 3,000 people on it and passengers on it. But what was the other thing on here? So I'm quickly trying to scroll. Interesting is that they're saying that SeaDream is saying that between 70 and 80% of the clientele are repeat guests. And why they're coming back, because they know that these particular ships, which I also experienced on my other cruises, are able to go to smaller ports.
Yeah, more interesting places.
So personalized experience, you can go to smaller ports. I mean, it really makes sense. And so I love seeing this as a different option.
Yeah, because as the bigger ships, I love going on them, but you go to the same Bahamas, Jamaica, Cozumel, right? Like there's only so many places they can fit. And that's why they're building their own islands now. A lot of like Royal Caribbean, like, oh, we're going to build our own place, and you make sure you come to our island, and we'll capture that revenue on that island too. But I did have a good time on their island, so I like seeing this. I haven't been on the smaller yacht experience yet. I have it here around the bay. We go cruising around the bay, but not on one of these.
You've been on a yacht, like
a day yacht, like a party yacht.
Yeah. Like a yacht, like a personalized yacht.
Miami, hey, let's go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I love that. Okay, why don't we quickly just touch on this last topic here?
Let's do it.
This is your big thing that you love talking about. AI-driven insights for hospitality revenue management success in 2025. So sorry, I got furry things flying in front of my screen. Oh my gosh. There's a fluffy pillow. Anyway,
it's snowing.
It's snowing, exactly, indoors. So what were you seeing in this particular
So I like the ways that AI is being used for revenue management. And they talk about a lot of things like the dynamic pricing and demand forecasting and personalization that can be done for each property. But I'm using a tool, and our team uses it every day for our vacation rentals and our homes and the hotels that we work with. And we use it every single day. And the way we use it, the tool will scan all of our bookings that have come through. It will scan all the properties. It will scan the comp sets that we have against the properties too. And we'll give recommendations like, hey, we see this. Here's what we recommend you do with your pricing for this day. And a lot of times we agree, but then there's some like, no, that's not the strategy we want. So I like it as just an extra help. It's like having an assistant there to scan something that would have taken us 2 hours to really dive in and do everything. It's scanning it in 2 minutes. Really, because it takes 2 minutes to study everything and give it to us. So then we're able to make faster decisions, and we can do that multiple times a day, right? So sometimes I'll run that review, an hour after we get a bunch of bookings just to see if anything's changed, any other suggestions. So I just think you need to be using AI tools. I just had this talk with another business owner, and he has now trained all his team because he said, if we're not using this, somebody else is, and they're going to be better at being more efficient, getting to their clients faster, getting to people better than we are. So again, you mentioned that you got to double check the work. You can't just copy and paste.
Yeah,
if you're doing that, then you're a rookie and you're going to make a mistake. But I use it for a lot of things. Like there's certain projects that I'm working on in big resorts that I need some ideas, or I need, to double check some work.
Yes.
Right. I like that. That's better than what I was going to say. So that's where you get a super powered consultant or service provider, is when they're using the things for like that.
It's crazy because it definitely is. I love it as an idea generator. And you're like, oh, I didn't think about going that direction. Okay. And then you can kind of go down the rabbit hole of that. So yeah, it's awesome to see. And it's only going to increase, I just think, efficiencies, for those that are implementing it correctly.
Yeah, especially for big data. Like I have a client, we're not going to say which client, it's a tech company too. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of their team members was complaining. So we have all this data to go through. It's thousands and thousands of lines. I was like, what AI tool are you using? So we were not. I was like, she's like, it doesn't work with this tool, Excel sheet that we have. I said, it works. Let me show you. sat down for 5 minutes, just showed that person how to use it.
Yeah.
And their mind was blown. Like, oh my God, like I can do this very easily. It's like, yes,
Right.
but they don't know how to use it yet. So I think there's a lot of that still going on. Like, I didn't know I could do that. Right. I didn't know I could
Yeah.
upload an Excel sheet and tell it to organize the Excel sheet and remake an Excel sheet and give it back to me. Right. Like, these are things that you can do if you just start practicing with it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the number of things that I've been able to just enhance, I just try everything and
Yeah.
try. And I'll be like, oh, okay. I'm speaking this coming weekend in Tulum. And I was working with my assistant on redoing my presentation. So I do unique presentations for all of my talks, but we use maybe like the same format. So it visually looks the same, but obviously the content is different. And I was like, oh, I've seen this look so many times. Like, can we like zhuzh it up? And we did. And it's like the stuff she was showing me, I was like, oh my gosh, I love the colors. It's bright. It's this. It's like visually interesting. And I specifically was like, start playing with AI. Let's see what that'll come up with. And it was great. It's so cool. So
Well,
all different ways.
I have another cool one for you. It may
What's
replace
that?
us. It might replace the podcaster. So
Oh yeah. Oh,
Google,
I know.
you seen that one? Google LLM. I gave it the draft of Hospitality Unlocked coming out in a couple of weeks. I gave it the draft and I said, hey, make a podcast about this. And it sounded like two real people talking about the book and all the insights in the book. And it was a 30-minute podcast. Unbelievable.
So on that yet, because I haven't played around with it. Like, did you? We actually feel like Will did something like this, but can you get it to sound like us?
The voices are standard voices right now.
Oh, got it. Right now.
It's
Okay.
a man and a woman, and it's like, wow, this is amazing. Hospitality Unlocked by Steve Turk. Let's dive into it, right? And so every week, every day, there's new tools coming out. You can be overwhelming, but I think just find one or two or three that you like and play with it and really get to learn them, because it will make life better for you and I think everyone that you work with.
What is going to happen when they figure it out, so that, and it probably is already even out there, that it'll basically do a podcast for us, sounding like us.
Yep.
And then what if your AI version of yourself says something that you don't approve of?
That's where it's going to be very interesting. Everyone's saying you need to have the blockchain now. The blockchain will be verifying if it's real or not, right? Because Steve Turk put it out. You'll be able to see it. But anyhow, it's there because on some of the tools out there now, I use it to overdub on certain things that don't sound as good. So I'll say, type in these words, say it like Steve Turk, and it sounds like me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. On some of the podcasts on the Hospitality Mentor, our tool is called the script. It can do it for you.
Oh, nice. So, oh, yeah, exactly. I still need to play around with that some more.
Yeah, so you got to play with some of the AI tools. They're just fun things out there that will make life easier and faster. They just take a while to learn. So get to learning, everyone.
Totally. Okay, let's get to our real-time recap.
Let's do it.
You got one, or should I start because of where I am?
Why don't you start? Go ahead. You're in a good place with the Christmas tree. Go ahead.
I know. I feel like you always start, but I definitely have to do a shout out for the team here at the Ritz-Carlton Lake Tahoe. They definitely have rolled out the red carpet. Obviously, you know, I'm staying here to help promote the property, and that's why it's so pretty. Again, they made sure that it was set up so well, but not even that. All of the service everywhere. From the check-in to the dining options to the spa. Oh my gosh, I had the best massage here. I think it might be within my top 3 best massages I've ever had in my life. And I've been very lucky that I've had a good number of massages all over the place. And this was, wow. Like they really have done a fantastic job with their service standards. And then also, you know, when they have somebody in that's staying at the property that they really want to make sure everything is, all the T's are definitely crossed and all the I's are dotted. They seem to do a really good job of communicating that. So shout out to the team here. It's amazing. I don't want to check out later today. I want to stay.
Yeah, it looks awesome there. I love what they've done for you there. And I'm going to get one more time, because this is the busy time here in Miami. A shout out to all the hotels that are really embracing the local artists and having them displayed in their hotels. You can go see a bunch of them with the Lowe's Hotel and Eden Rock Hotel and Satai and One Hotel, all these amazing hotels that have artists live in their lobbies. Go check them out. And Faina, I can't forget them. They have a beautiful display on their beach as well of these elephants that there's like a traveling herd of elephants that people are now taking pictures with everywhere across Miami Beach. So it's very cool.
Good for them. I love that. Oh, wait, quick shout out to Steve Sinclair, our friend over here at Bounty. I love it when you chime in. Back of the house is also getting AI tools too. AI will be in every part of the tech stack. Some of the best AI will be unseen. So
Yeah, I would
true.
love it. I would love it on the dish pits, especially like tracking how many dishes we've got, broken silverware, so I don't have to count it manually, thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces across a hotel. There's so many cool things that can be done. There's so many
Totally.
fun tools out there.
Steven Sinclair making Lost and Found cool again with Bounty.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, let's get to our hospitality quote.
Let's get our quote. I lost my screen.
Oh, I did not lose my screen, but did we lose Will? Or Will, are you still in the background? This hospitality quote is pretty cool. Let me try and
I
copy
got it here too.
You got it. You got it. Oh, there we go. Wait, no.
Wrong one.
Wrong quote, bro.
Read it for us, Dan.
Okay. I will read it. Oh, it won't let me do this here. I'm going to post it here and let's see. Okay, so this is great. So this is a quote by Anthony Bourdain. I often talk about the grandma rule for travelers. You may not like grandma's Thanksgiving turkey, but it's grandma's turkey, and you are in grandma's house. So eat it. And afterwards say, thank you, grandma. Why, yes, of course, I'd love seconds. I kind of love that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the when in Rome, right? When you're there, you got to
Totally.
experience the culture and the places that you're at. And you just did that across Southeast Asia. I'm going to be doing
Totally.
it when I travel different cities. I love trying things that are from that area.
Oh, same. Actually, funny. I have a video that I will be posting, if not later today, probably tomorrow, where I tried durian for the first time in Southeast Asia. So for those that don't know, durian's a very pungent fruit. And I feel like it's almost kind of like cilantro in the sense that like some people love cilantro and some people are like, oh my gosh, it tastes like soap. And durian is like some people really like it. And some people are like, oh my gosh, I can't get rid of this smell. And it's actually banned in some hotels. They're like, no durian allowed. And I tried it. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, I got to watch now. I got to see if you're like, like, yummy.
No. Thank you, Grandma. I'd like seconds.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great quote by Anthony Bourdain. I do miss that guy. I've always felt like I was traveling with him when I watched his shows.
Just such a good
quote
job.
to end our show. Well, I'm glad we're back. We had a week off for the holiday.
Totally.
Great show. We went long today, so we gave everyone some extra value today.
Extra love. We started early, went long. But yeah, no, this was good. Felt awesome. So
listen, until next time, gong out.
Do not disturb.